You should be reminded this too about the senior quote deadline, and for baby pictures, that is November the 22nd. So, thank you again, parents, and here's to the best dub class ever. Truly, the class of 2025. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Ms. Robinson. I am the 504 coordinator, but I'm also the senior advisor. For those of us that are sitting on the ends, if we could scoot in or allow some space for those that are sitting on the side, or standing on the side rather, to have a seat. So if you're standing on the side and want to come on in, please do so. Ms. Stewart gave you the senior website earlier. I will repeat that. It is North Atlanta Seniors, with an S on the end, .weebly.com. That is where all of your senior updates are going to be. So as of right now, I have a few facts for graduation. It is going to be on Thursday, May 22nd at 11 o'clock at Georgia Tech. Senior dues are $250. You can access them on the senior website to get the link to school cash to pay those. And then senior photos must be taken by November 1st in order to ensure that you are in the yearbook. That can also be scheduled at the senior website. If you have any questions, I do not know how many tickets you'll get yet. I don't know anything else yet. All I know is the date, the time, and the senior dues. So as we get more information, we'll update the senior website. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. However, I may just direct you to the senior website. Okay? Thank you very much, and I look forward to supporting your seniors. I'm very excited to be serving as the senior advisor. This is my first year doing it, but as an alumni, I'm very excited. So I look forward to seeing you all on May 22nd. Thank you. One more thing. In your folders, on the right-hand side, no, left-hand side, there's this form in the back. One QR code is for the senior website. The other QR code is for the senior Google form. I have about 432 responses, so I'm missing about 170. So if your child has not done that yet, if you could please, please, please have them do that immediately. I need that information to order shirts, to order cap and gowns, to make sure their names are correct on their diplomas. So if you could do that, and they have to do it. It is something that they need to use with their APS login. So your child has to do that one, and if they can do that ASAP. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Ms. Felder Patterson. I am the 10th and 12th grade social worker. I see a lot of people here tonight. Thank you for coming out. I'm here to support your students through their senior year, of course, because we know it could be very stressful. So if you need any emotional or mental health resources or basic needs, anything like that, your student can come to 4105 or you can reach out to me. We do have a food distribution coming up. Well, it will be a drive-through food distribution here on campus on October 3rd from 10 to 12. You'll get the flyer through our online service. Thank you.
And we have Ms. Caitlin Norton from the University of Alabama. She's going to give you some information about their university and opportunities for our students that they can take advantage of. Ms. Norton. Did I say? What did I say? I'm sorry, UAB Birmingham.
Hey, thank you everybody. Thanks for having me. So, like Ms. Robinson said, my name is Caitlin Norton. I'm the Associate Director for Out-of-State Recruitment at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. I just want to give you guys a brief overview of what we have to offer. I know living in the state of Georgia, as a resident myself, Hope and Zell Miller are very appealing. But out-of-state schools also have a lot to offer you, and sometimes more than what we have here in the state of Georgia. So, just a brief overview, we are a four-year public institution located in the heart of the city. We are home to about 22,000 students overall, 13,000 undergrad with a 49% diversity ratio. We have been ranked the last 3 years as one of the most diverse universities in the country, and we are very proud of that fact. When it comes to, next slide, please. Here's our campus, super pretty. Like I said, we're located in the heart of the city. We make up 100 city blocks. Undergrad campus is about 18, which is about a 15-minute walk for all of your undergraduate students. We have this beautiful campus green, so we have a lot to provide outside of just this traditional standard urban campus. Next slide. So when it comes to academics, because we know that is why we are here and what's most important next year, we have over 150 majors, 200 programs total. We are most known for our health professions program, including nursing, but also for business, engineering, education, and we have several small niches on our campus in the fine arts as well. In addition to that, UAB is one of the top receivers of funding from the National Institute of Health. We are top 1%. Our freshmen are allowed to start research. That is a huge benefit of being a smaller school, is that our students are able to get into those labs and start that research process 2 years before most institutions allow students into the laboratories. This is great for our students that are interested in anything that requires that lab research on their resume when pursuing their career further. And then from a study abroad program and research abroad program, we travel to all 7 continents. We are one of the few institutions that does research in Antarctica and allows undergraduate students to do that. And then from a study abroad standpoint, we're traveling to 40 different countries. Next slide. We also are home to a very unique honors college at UAB in the way that we structure our programming. Honors College at UAB is an automatic admit process for our students that meet our minimum criteria, but then we also allow students to apply without that necessary criteria as well. Next slide. The unique part about UAB is the fact that we have 4 pathways dedicated to our students. So our personalized pathway allows our students to customize their classroom experience and the courses that they take within the Honors College itself. But then we also have these 3 additional programs as well. Our Global and Community Leadership, Science and Technology, and University Honors Program. Our Global and Leadership are for our world changers, our students that are passionate about social justice. Our Science and Technology pathway is for our students that are interested in the bench sciences. History courses, English courses are all taught with a science and technology lens, which is pretty unique. And then we have our University Honors Program, which is our oldest at UAB, and also our liberal arts program. Next slide, please. So the application process at UAB is probably going to be one of the easier ones that you experience this senior year. So next, you're just going to do 4 clicks. Perfect, thank you. So for this, you're going to submit the application. You can apply through the Common App or our application. No essay, no letters of recommendation. So we are a numeric review institution. I am solely looking at GPA and test scores when it comes to the application process. That information obviously is on the screen for how to send that in. But we are also what's considered a rolling admissions institution. So sooner you apply, sooner you get in. I already have seniors that have been accepted in August. And so we make decisions every Tuesday and Thursday, and decisions can be made within 5 business days of receiving the documentation. Next slide. Now we are test optional this year, and that is something that we definitely hope to continue in the future, but obviously this is senior night, so for seniors, that test optional approach is a good thing, but I personally encourage my students to test regardless if an institution is test optional or not, and that is due to scholarships. So next slide. So at UAB, we have automatic merit scholarships based on those test scores and GPA ranges. For our test scores, we're looking at highest composite. For GPA weighted, it's literally a hit it, you get it situation for us. And you're able to test through March of your senior year. So you can apply with one score, continue to test. As you increase, I give you more money. That presidential elite is going to be full tuition at UAB. So definitely a worthwhile endeavor there. Next slide. We also offer test optional scholarships as well. The reason that I highly recommend applying with test scores is we automatically assess which situation is going to be the highest and best for you in awarding process. If you only go test optional, I have less data available to give you more money. So in order to receive the maximum amount of money possible, make sure that you are applying with those test scores. Next slide, please. Now we also have national ranked scholarships available for students as well. These stack on top of the awards that you guys just saw. So if you are coming in with any of these categorizations, you are able to add those scholarships to what you receive. As you can see, for all of three of those slides, they are annual scholarships, so multiply by 4 to get a 4-year award. Next slide. In addition to all of that money, I have more money, and that is our Be Smart Scholarship application. This is where your competitive and departmental scholarships are coming in, and with that, this is where your essays, letters of recommendation, and resume come into play. So all of that information allows you to be considered for even further scholarships that can stack on top of what has already been awarded. Application for Be Smart opens once you're admitted. Priority deadline, February 1st. Next slide. And then even more money, you guys, is external scholarships. So fun fact, external scholarships can be applied to any institution in the country. There are millions, if not more millions of dollars to be had in external scholarships. And every year, millions of dollars are left on the table because students do not apply for it. This is the hill I die on each year. So please apply for these scholarships. Treat it as a full-time job. Write those resumes, write those essays, because you get $3,500 scholarships, you're at $1,500. That's your books for your freshman year. So continuing to work through these resources are going to be extremely beneficial to you. At UAB, I continue to stack these on top of what you receive from the university itself, but like I said earlier, all external scholarships can be applied to any institution in the country. Next slide. So last, certainly not least, coming and giving us a visit. We offer tours Monday through Friday. We're only about 2 hours away from Atlanta, so easy drive on I-20, you dead into me, can't miss us. So like I said, we offer 3 tours a week, Monday through Friday. Advantage of being an out-of-state student is I can build a customized visit for you based on your areas of interest. So if you know that you're interested in business, honors, and research, we can meet with those 3 departments. And then next slide, please. Last but certainly not least, we are hosting our preview day for the fall on October 19th. This is open for all prospective students. We would love to have you in Birmingham. You can use this QR code to register. I also am outside if you want to come and give me a chat. Next slide. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you.
Hi everybody, good evening. I am Mr. Vergara. I'm one of the college and career advisors here at North Atlanta. I work primarily with the seniors, with the juniors as well. For appointment purposes, I handle caseload last name E through Z. I'm a recent graduate of the University of Georgia. I graduated with a double bachelor in psychology and sociology. And really, I'm here to support you all as the parents and all of your students as well. No, as a student.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Jeffries. I handle caseloads, last name H through O. I'm a recent grad from Georgia Southern University. I have a degree in public health. I always tell the kids if they're interested in public health, come and speak to me. But yeah, we're here to help guide your seniors through this journey to get to college or whatever, career paths or technical school paths that they are wanting to go on. And if you guys are wondering what last names A through G have going on, me and Mr. Vergara will be handling those as well together, so you can schedule with either one of us if you have questions or comments or concerns about anything regarding your senior's graduation path.
Yes, so we're located here at the school. We're on the 8th floor in the College and Career Center. The main thing that we do is we have mandatory one-on-one meetings with your student. So we do this by visiting classrooms and pulling them out and just meeting with them, meeting them where they're at, and just discussing their post-secondary plan. So right here, we have just some of our services. I mentioned kind of the main thing that we do, which is one-on-one advising. And the other very big thing that we do is meet with you, the parent. So if you're wanting to have a one-on-one with us and your student, and we kind of just plan out what's going to happen in the next couple of years, we can very much do that going off of our last name breakdown. I think I should have a flyer with our QR code in your folder where you can make appointments. We also help with any student who might be interested in going to technical school, so going the 2-year route. Also, when the time comes around, financial aid. So FAFSA won't be opening until about December this year. It'll likely open October, but for the most part, it'll open in December. And we're here to help you all kind of understand what the FAFSA is about, and then also just navigate the application. It got revamped last year, so it's been a little nutty, but we're here to help you guys just get through it all. We also help with SAT and ACT registration, and we also have e-waivers for any student who is eligible for one. And we also bring in college reps into the College and Career Center. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a humongous college fair in the gym, which was a great success. We got a lot of students exposed to some colleges. So we also do that in a smaller scale in the College and Career Center. And we also help with essays. Not very many people like to write, and that's okay, but we're here to help. También para los que hablan aquí español, yo también hablo español. Soy el señor Vergara. Más que nada estoy aquí para soportar a ustedes y a sus estudiantes. Y cuando quieran ustedes tienen un papel en su folder que tiene información de cómo hacer una cita conmigo si quieren platicar más y aprender más sobre el proceso. Mr. Jeffries is going to talk a little bit about more of the career aspect that we handle.
So we do help students who are looking to go on the career path after high school as well. We offer resume building, military branch info assistance. If you're interested in any of the military branches, we have reps from the Marines and National Guard come in all the time. You just have to come in and let us know if you're interested in those things. Workforce readiness program, ASVAB registration, as well as job application assistance and mock interviews, as well as career assessment. So if you are sure that you don't want to go to school, but you know you want to get a job, if you're not sure what, we also help figure that out for you as well.
Just a couple of final notes. One thing that I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about is the Achieve Atlanta Scholarship. Some of y'all might have seen their table outside. I encourage you all to go stop by and speak to the representative that's here. Achieve Atlanta is a scholarship that's only for Atlanta public school students. It is a need-based scholarship, but they've been extending the the minimum that you need to qualify for it for a couple years now. So I'd encourage you all to stop and speak to the representative here. It's a $20,000 scholarship over the next 4 years. So that's $5,000 a year, and then $1,500 for technical schools. And that's money. That's just free money. One of the easiest ways to just get free money for a technical school 4-year out. So I encourage you all to look into it a little bit more. We'll be having more information about that as the year rolls on. I believe the application opens in February. Para los aquí que hablan español, sería bien que vayan a visitar la mesa aquí afuera de la Achieve Atlanta. Es una beca que muchos estudiantes aquí pueden calificar. Son $20,000 sobre en los 4 años que vienen, $1,500 para las escuelas técnicas. Pero nomás quería que sepan de esa oportunidad que está aquí afuera. And one final thing, again, thank you all so much for being here this evening. Y'all might have seen some check-in flyers around kind of the outside of the school. I encourage you all to just scan that with your phone just to make sure that we can count you all as having arrived here. But thank you all so much. We hope to hear from you all soon. We're going to hand it off to Ms. Anderson next, who's the CCC coordinator. Thank you all so much.
Hey you guys, like Mr. Vergara said, I'm Ms. Anderson. I'm the College and Career Coordinator here at North Atlanta. So I work primarily with 9th through 11th graders, but I also do big picture programming, like college and career programming, which includes everyone's favorite new platform, Naviance. Just kidding, I know it's been a bumpy rollout. And so I just wanted to come up here and let you guys know that if you have any questions about Naviance or any trouble using it, having any like technical issues, I would be the one to reach out to. I posted flyers with my email on it all around the exits of the auditorium, so you'll see them on the walls and the doors. But you're also welcome to email me at thenahscollege@gmail.com, advisor email, and I'll see it there too. But yeah, in case you don't know what Naviance is, it's a college and career readiness platform that North Atlanta is now using. Has tons and tons of tools to help students figure out what their skills are, what their interests are, what their strengths are, how those might translate into different majors or careers, as well as searching for colleges, which colleges may be a good academic fit, as well as, you know, a personal, social, emotional, financial fit. But ultimately, seniors are using it this year for college applications. So you still apply for college through Common App or whatever other application portal the school uses, but Naviance is for requesting transcripts and teacher recommendations. So it's required if you're applying to college, you must use Naviance. And all students have an account. You just log in through My Backpack. And yeah, so I will be sharing a super, super detailed step-by-step college application checklist that includes everything from start to finish. So the forms you're required to fill out for Mr. Robinson, setting up your Common App account, connecting your Naviance account, how to send test scores, how to request teacher recs, transcripts, all that good stuff. I'll share it via Naviance and Google Classroom, so keep an eye out for that if you feel a little lost with any of that. I'll also be hosting workshops soon, so I'm going to do a Zoom night one, and then I'll do ones during the day for students. But yeah, I think that is it. Just wanted to let you guys know that, yeah, if you have Naviance questions, I'm the one to see. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ms. Jones. I'm the graduation coach. I've worked very closely with Mr. Robinson to make sure that each and every one of your lovely babies make it to that stage come May 22nd. So there's a couple of things that I want to talk about that's a little bit concerning to me. We actually have a new policy that is just a directive from the district. I don't know if you all know this, but come October 4th, all missing assignments that students are required to have that have been assigned since August 1st are due at that point. No teachers are allowed to receive any work that was assigned from August 1st up until October 4th on October 5th. And what's concerning to me is because there are many of our seniors that are failing right now. I actually printed out a page today, a report that's 20 pages of seniors with failures. And that's very concerning because historically, students have had the mindset that they can wait until the last week of the semester to try to get work done. That no longer applies. And a couple of zeros can be very detrimental to your student's overall grade. So again, I want to press upon you, October 4th, please check with your student to make sure that they have all of their assignments submitted. I will begin calling next week if I think something is really concerning. If your student is, really off track with their grades, I'll be giving you a call next week, and this is something that we really have to take serious at this point. And the reason why is because should your student fail 2 or 3 classes, and if they're already they already have a full schedule for second semester, we may not be able to accommodate all the classes that they need in the building, and that will require us to start looking outside of the traditional setting and actually look at Phoenix Academy or somewhere like that, or possibly put classes online for them. But again, I just wanted to introduce myself. I enjoy working with each and every one of your students, and do not hesitate to reach out to me. I would actually encourage you to contact me if you have any questions or concerns about your student status, so we can just try to alleviate some of the things that are on Mr. Robinson's plate, but don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Good evening to our parents, our guardians, caregivers, guests, our students, our teachers that are in the building. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Daryl Robinson, and I serve as a counselor for the most dynamic class here at North Atlanta, the class of 2025. So how many parents have been here since, and their kids started here in 9th grade in 2021? How many parents? Just by raising hand. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So most of you probably came to our Warrior Welcome when they started out as 9th graders here in the theater, and I gave a presentation and talked about everything that you needed to know regarding their freshman year. And here we are now, 4 years later, and we are now looking at graduating seniors. So it is just mind-boggling how fast those years went by. But thanks to you and your hard work and your students' hard work, we've made it to the final chapter in their 4-year term. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. You can advance to the next slide. So this slide, for those of you who are not connected to me, go ahead and join my class Remind. As some of you probably get tired of all the messages that I send out a ton of information along with our college advisors about important updates regarding any opportunities that are applicable to a senior, whether it's scholarship information, workshops, campus fly-ins to colleges and universities where they'll spend, they'll take care of your expenses for your child to visit their university. I send out information on anything that comes across my desk that I think is important for you to know as a parent or for your child to know as a student. Your child also has access to my Google Classroom where I post everything that I also send out via Remind. And then Ms. Robinson has the North Atlanta Seniors.weebly website. That's where you'll find out information that is also in your flyer that you received earlier this evening about the senior dues, senior photos, senior events, things of that nature. Next slide. So surviving senior year, this is really important. I know some of your students have been going through this. I did classroom guidance with them back in August, and we talked about some of the common stresses that they're facing right now. And as you can see from this slide, this is data that was taken from collegedata.com. Getting into college and managing the senior workload, we're tied at 21%, but applying to college was at 37% the most common stress that our students are facing right now. What I try to tell them is that don't feel like you're alone. Every senior who I've worked with has gone through that, and it's normal. But I can guarantee you that at the end of the day, it'll all work out. They'll get to where they want to go, and they'll be happy at the end, and all that hard work will pay off. But it is also important for them to take care of themselves and practice self-care. We all have to do that. And so I did stress that to them to know that don't let it get overwhelming. It's normal that you might feel that way, but this too shall pass. And then paying for college is also another big deal. So if your parents haven't saved up enough money for you, then it is going to be important for you to start looking at scholarship opportunities. So graduation requirements. All students are required to have 24 units or 24 credits to graduate, and these are the areas in which those credits are required. Every student must have 4 credits of English, 4 credits of math, 4 credits in science, 3 credits in social studies, and all the courses are listed. They have to have a minimum of 2 credits in world language, 1 credit of a CTAE, fine art, or world language pathway, 1.5 credits in health and PE. They can waive that requirement if they've taken 3 years of JROTC. There's 1/2 a credit of PE, but can also be waived with the participation of a varsity sport for 2 seasons or participation in an advanced band class. And as of this year, the district just implemented a new board policy that if you've had 2 years of dance class, that will also waive that additional elective PE requirement. Then you need 4 additional units of electives, and the final half a credit is required for your 75 hours of community service. Now, I know that a lot of students started North Atlanta this year. They were concerned because they were coming in late. They have until April 16th to turn those hours in. Those are due by all seniors, and the district is very strict on all students meeting that requirement. I did ask if there would be any leniency towards students who started this year, but I was told no, they are requiring all students to have those 75 hours. So please, please, please make sure that you're taking advantage of your breaks, your holiday breaks, school breaks to get those hours. Our students have access to an app which is called TierSphere. It's a new app that started this year. We have transitioned from the My Volunteer app, but it works pretty much similar to the My Volunteer app. The app is loaded in their backpack. They can look up opportunities through TierSphere to participate and volunteer. Also, we offer opportunities here in North Atlanta for students to volunteer, or they can volunteer with any nonprofit, whether it's in the state of Georgia or outside the state of Georgia. Next slide. So some of the components of your college application. Most colleges are going to require you to have an application to complete. Your high school transcript. Our students have access to their transcript via parchment.com. They each have an individual Parchment account. They also have their NAHS account that they can order their transcript through. They typically will require test scores. There are some schools that are test optional, and Ms. Norton mentioned that earlier in her presentation. Letters of recommendation may or may not be required, and then essays may or not be required. Typically, the most important or the most common will be the application itself and the high school transcript. Next slide. So this is a detailed sheet that your students received from me back in August. A lot of times when they're filling out their application, it will ask them for their class size, how do we report rank. We use the exact rank. We use the 100-point scale in terms of reporting the GPA. Our class size has grown. We are now at 598 as of today. This is the largest class that North Atlanta has had in the 9 years that I've been here. Our school profile, your students have access to that through my Google Classroom. So this is just information that they may need when they're filling out their college application. Next slide. So application deadlines for those students who are applying early. The first deadline is October 15th. I've informed students that if they're applying to schools that have the October 15th deadline, they need to have all their materials submitted so that I'm able to do my part no later than September 20th. If they're looking at the November 1st deadline, they need to have it in by October 11th, December 1st, no later than November 1st. Also bear in mind that school holidays, teacher work days, and holiday breaks, I'm not working on those, they're not working, so I also take my breaks, so they need to make sure that they get their documents in a timely manner so that I have time to get them in and make their deadlines. There is a form that they're required to use. Also, when they're asking for teachers to submit recommendations, it's important that they ask that teacher first before they send an invite to a teacher, because teachers really get upset when they get an email notification that a child has asked for a recommendation and that child hasn't spoken to them about it at first. So please make sure that you speak to your teachers and also notify me prior to just sending me a notification that you need a council recommendation. Next slide. So I have a brag sheet. Our students have access to it. It's listed in my Google Classroom. This is to help them. It's a template that they can use, and it asks them different questions. Those questions are used for me to formulate their letter of recommendation, and they have access to that. They receive a copy of the brag sheet once they complete it. And this is also listed in my Google Classroom. So the letter of recommendation, what I required our students to do is for each application that they're completing, aside from Common App, that requires a counselor letter of recommendation, they're to fill out the letter of recommendation request form, which is located in my Google Classroom. This is a way of me keeping a track of those deadlines that they need to meet and that I need to meet so that I don't miss any important deadlines for them for their applications. They are to use this when they're applying for different scholarships that require council recommendation, or if they're applying to colleges outside of Common App that require council recommendation. Next slide. So the senior contact form is another form that our students are required to complete. This is information that basically asks for their name, their email address, their phone number, their parents' name, email address, and phone number. That is in case I'm working on an application that there's information I need from them and it's after the school day and I'm not able to get a hold of them during the school day, but I need that information ASAP. So this is what I'm going to be able to use in order to get in contact with those students or with yourself if I need to. And that is located in my Google Classroom as well. So who manages what? The college application is managed by your student. High school transcripts, our students request their transcripts via Parchment or through their Naviance account. Test scores, students have to send their test scores via their College Board account or their ACT account. Most colleges will not accept test scores from the high school. They don't consider those to be official test scores. It has to come from the organization itself. Letters of recommendation, the student is responsible for requesting those recommendations. All deadlines, the student must meet their deadlines. Most colleges and scholarships have hard deadlines. Receipt of all documents required by the college, the student has access to managing that through their Naviance account, through their dashboard. They can check their statuses of all the documents that have been received by any institution that they're applying for through their Naviance account. Keep in mind that some colleges do allow counselors and teachers an extension from what your actual deadline is. So for example, the October 15th deadline, that's typically the student's deadline. Now most colleges realize that counselors have heavy caseloads. So for example, me having 598 students, they don't expect me to have all the applications in by October 15th. I usually have at least another week to 2 weeks beyond that 15th deadline to get everything in. So please don't stress if you see that it says council recommendation is pending. They're aware, it's not a big deal. They'll get it and it won't deter their decision as far as accepting your child. So the Hope GPA and Hope Scholarship. Every student has a Hope account or a Georgia Futures account through Georgia Student Finance Commission, and this is where they go to determine whether or not if they're Hope eligible. All students must have their social security number in order to create their account. Most of the students created their account either last year during their English class with me or during this year during their English class with me. The only ones who weren't able to is the ones who did not have access to their social security card or they don't have a social security number at this time. But once you have that information, you can go in, you can see whether or not if you're Hope eligible. You have to have at least a 3.0 core GPA to be Hope eligible, a 3.7 to be to be Zell Miller eligible. In addition to the 3.7, you need a 26 ACT or a 1200 SAT composite score for Zell Miller. So inside your folder, there was a lot of information. I tried to make sure that pretty much everything that I could think of that would be useful to you was in your packet. So you had your Meet Your College Advisor information sheet. You had a QR code that was on the back of that flyer with a scan that will allow you to book appointments with our college advisors. You have your National Major Scholarship flyer, Guide to Building a Balanced Scholarship flyer, Achieve Atlanta Scholarship that was in English and Spanish, the Hispanic Scholarship information flyer. Next slide. 8 steps for parents completing the 24-25 FAFSA form, applying for federal student aid, why Form 1098-T is important to you, comparing federal and private student loans, Georgia Army National Guard flyer, the Atlanta Fire and Rescue Junior Recruit Program, college admissions cycles explained, SAT, ACT, practice test dates here in North Atlanta via Apple Roof, our college admissions national testing schedule, University System of Georgia, testing optional and non-test optional schools, questions to ask college representatives, adjustments yearbook ad, as well as your child's class schedule, their transcript, and their senior contract. Now the senior contract is very important because that document tells you whether or not if your student is on track for graduation, on track with caution, or off track for graduation. So I will say that I'm really happy that out of 598 seniors, there were only 11 students that were off track for graduation. So that is really impressive. I think that is a great job that our students have done to make sure that they're on track to graduate this year. So make sure that on the contract it has a QR code that you have to scan, and you will, once you sign and your child has signed the contract, take a picture of it, scan the QR code. It will take you to a Google form to fill out, and once you fill out that Google form, you'll upload the picture of the contract. and that will be my verification that you've received your contract. I know there were some people that were missing information out of Mr. Ballmer's homeroom, so those students I will make sure that they get that during their next advisement. Also, this meeting is being recorded, so for parents and guardians who weren't able to attend tonight's meeting, you will be able to review the recorded session via my Remind group. Last but not least, are there any questions for tonight? Thank you so much for coming out, and I'll see you in May.
Wouldn't you want to have a little hang out night with your mom friends? What I would do is not have to take my son to school and just have him do his thing and go out with my friends, huh?